Hello everyone and welcome to my video lecture series. So today we are going to start with the plant hormone called as cytokinin. In the previous lectures we have already completed with the two growth promoters or the growth regulator hormones, which were auxins and gibberellins, and this is the last growth promoting hormone which is present in plants. Okay, it is also a phytohormone. Okay, and from the next lecture we are going to start with the growth inhibiting organs, which are ethylene and abscisic acid. So before we begin with today's topic, if you are one of those people who are watching this video and you have yet not subscribed to my channel, kindly do so. Okay, after watching the video, if you found it useful, please share it with your friends, give it a like, and do comment what you thought about the video. Okay, anyway, coming back to our topic for today, it's going to be cytokinin. Okay, and cytokinin is the last phytohormone in the growth promoter series. Okay, so it promotes growth. Now what is cytokinin? See, the main function of cytokinin is cell division, please remember. Okay, later on I will tell you how the word cytokinin itself means that it is doing cell division. So the main function of cytokinin is cell division, and it also helps in cell elongation. Please remember that. So I will write it down over here. It helps in cell division, okay, and also helps in cell elongation. What is the meaning of cell elongation? Cell elongation means increase in length of a single cell. Cell division, you know, it is also called as mitosis, correct? So that is about the function. Now let us talk about the history of cytokinin. Okay, when was cytokinin discovered, who gave the term cytokinin, okay, and who were the people responsible for finding out about cytokinins. So first of all, this word cytokinin, it was coined by a person called as Latham. So I'm going to write it down over here. Okay, cytokinin was coined by a person called as Latham. Okay, so he just coined the word cytokinin. All right, however, the discovery of cytokinins, okay, there are chemical compounds called cytokinins, that discovery was done by two people, okay, and they were Scooge and Miller. So Scooge and Miller in 1954 came to know that there were substances called as cytokinins present in different substances which gave rise to cell division. So how did Scooge and Miller find that out? So what Scooge and Miller were doing is they were performing a tissue culture experiment. So let me write it down first. So the main thing is to remember that Scooge and Miller, extremely sorry, Scooge and Miller, they were performing a tissue culture experiment. So I think everybody knows what is tissue culture. I have already told you. So tissue culture is basically when you take a single cell, it may be an animal cell or a plant cell, you put it on a nutrient medium. What is a nutrient medium? A nutrient medium is a medium which provides nutrients to the growing cell. So suppose if I draw this tray over here, please pay attention, and in this tray I pour nutrient medium. Okay, so this orange color substance which you can see, that is the nutrient medium, and on top of the nutrient medium I keep a single cell. So suppose if I draw this green colored cell over here, so what will happen is this green colored cell, it will absorb the nutrients and it will grow and it will begin to divide. Okay, now if you remember, I had already told you this single cell which we take in the beginning of tissue culture, it is called as an explant. So I'm writing it down. Then what will happen? The next thing that is going to happen is the nutrients that the cell will take will allow the cell to grow and divide. So in the next diagram I am going to draw that same tray, correct? Obviously the nutrient medium will be there. Nutrient medium is basically the food for the cell, and what will happen to the cell will divide and it will form a mass of cells which is called as callus, if you remember. So I will draw a group of cells over here, right, and all these cells will be attached to each other, and this group is called as callus, and later on this callus will also further divide. Okay, so if you want to see, again I am drawing the tray in which the callus has formed. then I will add the nutrient medium to it, which is this orange color liquid, and the cells will have proliferated more, or they would have multiplied more, and they will form an organ. All right, whatever organ you want to form depending on the hormones that you are adding, correct? So formation of organ is called as organogenesis. So I will write down over here organ. Is this clear? So this is called tissue culture, wherein you take a single cell and you grow a tissue or organ out of it artificially, that is outside the body of the organism. This is called tissue culture. Now the same thing Scooge and Miller did. What they did is they took a cell of tobacco plant. Okay, so I will write down the name over here. Name of the plant was tobacco. Everybody, tobacco is also called as Nicotiana tabacum. That is the scientific name. I will write it down over here. So please be careful of the spelling. Nicotiana, Tabacum, and since it is a scientific name, please underline it separately. See, many of the students make this mistake. They write all the answers very properly, but they forget to underline the scientific names. Also, don't just continuously underline both the words together. You have to separately underline them. There has to be a break between the two words. Please remember that. That is one of the rules of writing scientific names. So Nicotiana tabacum, they took one cell. Okay, so I'm just drawing it over here. They took the explant, they took a single cell, and they added nutrient medium to it, and they realized that the callus was forming. Now what Scooge and Miller realized was that the callus was developing slowly. Okay, it was, the cells were not dividing very rapidly, and they found out that when they added two extra materials to the nutrient medium, okay, when they added, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the two materials. So they took two extra materials. One was coconut milk. Okay, coconut milk is the liquid that you get from coconut, and the other material which they added was herring sperm DNA. Now what is herring sperm DNA? Herring is a type of fish. Okay, so they obtained the sperms from the male herring fish. Obviously a sperm is a single cell, it has a nucleus, so it will have DNA. So they took the DNA from the sperm of that herring fish. They also took the coconut milk, and both these things they added to the callus, and when they added both these things to the nutrient medium in which the callus was growing, they realized that the callus began to multiply much faster. So there was something present inside the coconut milk and something inside the herring sperm DNA that was making the cells to undergo division faster. And what were these things? Obviously these things were cytokinins. But Scooge and Miller did not know the word cytokinins, but they came to know that there are substances, there are chemical hormones which are making the cell divide much more quickly than normal. Okay, and they called these substances as kinins. So I will write down over here. Scooge and Miller use the word, okay, I'll rub this off. Scooge and Miller use the word kinins, or they also use the word kinetins. Okay, they were not aware of the word cytokinin, and when the kinin and kinetins were discovered later on, the word cytokinin was given by the person called as Latham. So please remember, Latham was the person who coined the word. He was not the person to discover about cytokinins. He just gave that word. The first people to actually discover through experiment that there are substances which help in cell division, they were Scooge and Miller. Once again, what experiment they did do? They did a tissue culture experiment. Okay, so they took a cell from Nicotiana tabacum, which is the tobacco plant. Okay, they grew it in an artificial medium, adding nutrient medium, and they realized that the callus is forming. However, they realized that when they added two extra substances, which were coconut milk and herring sperm DNA obtained from the sperm of herring fish, they realized that the division of callus became much faster. So there were some things present in the coconut milk and the sperm of herring that was making the cell division process much faster, and these substances they called as kinetins or kinins. Now please remember, kinins comes from the word kinesis. Okay, so I will just deviate slightly from the topic. So kinesis word, if you have ever heard, suppose if I write down over here cytokinesis, cytokinesis is cell division, or rather it is cytoplasmic division, correct? The cytoplasm divides. Okay, similarly if I write down over here karyokinesis, then karyokinesis is when the nucleus divides, so it is nucleus division, correct? So kinesis is division, right? So from the word kinesis, the word kinin or kinetin comes. So kinin or kinetins are substances which help in cell division. Is this clear? Very, very simple. And because of that, the term cytokinin also means substances which help in division of the cell. Very simple. Okay, so let us come back to our original topic. I will rub this off. So this was about the history of cytokinin. Okay, so the word coined by Latham, and first of all they were discovered as separate hormones by two people called as Couch and Miller. Is this clear? Okay, now coming to the next part, which is the chemical nature, the chemical structure of cytokinins. Now cytokinins are basically ring structures, okay, and chemically they can be called as 6-furfuryl aminopurine. So I will write down the word over here, all of them which are present. So chemically, if you see chemical structure, the chemical structure is called as 6-furfuryl aminopurine. Now everybody knows what are purines. Purines are adenine and guanine. Does anybody remember the structure of adenine or guanine? There are two ring structures. There is a 1,6 carbon ring and there is a 5 carbon ring. Both of them are joined together. So the structure is somewhat like this, if you remember, guys. Purines are like this. This is the structure of purines. So in the structure of cytokinins, this double ring structure will be present and an additional ring is present. It may be a 5 carbon ring or a 6 carbon ring. Now I will show you the structure of 6-furfuryl aminopurine, because if you can understand the structure, you will be able to remember the name easily. The structure is not given in the textbook. You don't have to remember the structure. So let us have a look at the structure. So this is the structure of 6-furfuryl aminopurine. Can you see this? Okay, now as I told you, this part of the structure, this is the purine, this is the purine part, correct? And this is the part which is called as furfuryl, and this amino group in between, so it is 6-furfuryl aminopurine. Is this clear? Now there are many types of cytokinins. Basically there are naturally occurring 7 types of cytokinins found from plants, okay? And if you see their structures, then some of the structures will not have the word purine over here, they will have the name adenine. So adenine is also a purine, so don't get confused. So basically the structure of cytokinins is, so here there is, if you see, there is a 5 carbon ring over here. However, then can also be a 6 carbon ring over here, so that may change. And this NH bond is always going to be there. This aliphatic chain is there which is connecting these two aromatic groups. This is the aromatic close ring, again this is aromatic. So this structure will always remain the same. Just remember that here there can be a 5 carbon structure or 6 carbon cyclic structure, but this will always be a purine, and this is called as 6-furfuryl aminopurine. This is the general structure of cytokinins, okay? So don't need to remember these names. This is just for your extra information that I told you this. Is this clear? So yes, we have written down 6-furfuryl aminopurine. This is the chemical structure. Now when was the first cytokinin extracted? See, Couch and Miller found out about cytokinins. They realized that there were substances which were causing the cell division to occur, but they were not able to extract or remove those hormones from their sources. So the first cytokinin which was successfully removed from the source or extracted from the source was the cytokinin which was removed from maize. Okay, everybody knows what is corn. Corn is also called as maize. So unripe maize grains, from those grains the first natural cytokinin was extracted by Latham. So once again, Latham was responsible for coining the word cytokinins, and Latham was also responsible for extraction or removal of the first natural cytokinin. Scooge and Miller did not remove the cytokinin. They were the first people to find out that there are substances called as cytokinins. Okay, so the first person to extract cytokinins from natural sources was Latham, and he used unripe maize grains or corn grains, and from that he basically extracted the cytokinin, and that cytokinin was called as zeatin. So let me write it down over here. See, all these points that I am telling you, I am writing it down in the point form. When you are writing answers, try to write them down in sentences. Okay, don't write down long essays or paragraphs, but please don't write just the points. For you right now I am doing this so that it becomes easier to understand. So let me write down the next point. First natural cytokinin extracted by Latham, the same person who coined the word, et al. Now, does anybody know what is the meaning of that words which we add, et al? So normally whenever experiments are done, whenever research is done, there is not only a single person who is doing it. There is one main person and there are other workers or there are co-workers who help in that experiment or that research. So normally we just write down the name of the person who is the main person who is doing the experiment. For example, Latham extracted it, but he was not the only person who helped in that extraction. There were many co-workers of his who were helping him in that process. So when we do not write the name of the co-workers, we normally write down et al. So et al means Latham and his co-workers, or Latham and other scientists. Okay, so that is a nice way of writing down Latham et al. So Latham along with his colleagues or along with his co-workers or workers. So that is called as et al. Is that clear? Okay, and the first natural cytokinin, it was extracted from which plant? I told you it was extracted from the plant which is called as maize, and the name of the cytokinin was zeatin. Now, how do you remember this word zeatin? So if anybody knows the scientific name of maize, maize is called as Z-maize. Z-maize is the scientific name of maize or corn. So the generic name, which is Z, from that the name of the cytokinin is zeatin. Alright, tin comes from kinetin and Za comes from the generic name of maize. So zeatin is the first successfully extracted cytokinin from maize plant. It was done by Latham and his co-workers. Is this clear? Okay, so that is about the discovery or extraction of the first natural cytokinin. Now, like natural cytokinins, I already told you there are about 7 different natural cytokinins obtained from plants. Okay, I'm talking about plants over here. So plants have about 7 different types of cytokinins. Apart from that, artificially also the cytokinins are prepared. Okay, synthetically also they are prepared. One big example of a synthetically prepared cytokinin is called as 6-benzyl adenine. Write it down again. So synthetically prepared cytokinin is 6-benzyl adenine. Now, as I told you, the structure is called as 6-furfuryl amino purine. So purine over here, purine is replaced by adenine. Okay, and the name is saying 6-benzyl adenine. So let's again go back to the structure which I showed you. So if I want to suppose show you the structure of 6-benzyl adenine, then over here if you see this part is having 5 carbon atoms, but since now we are writing the name 6-benzyl, that means over here a benzene ring will be present, 6 carbon ring will be present. So the only change in this structure will be over here a benzene ring will be present, then NH will be present, this is purine, this is adenine, so the same structure. So as I told you, the purine part of the structure remains the same, only this ring will be either 5 carbon or 6 carbon depending upon the type of cytokinin. So that is called as 6-benzyl adenine, or it is also called as 6-benzyl aminopurine. Is this clear? Remember that the aliphatic chain with NH or amino group is connecting two parts. One part is an aromatic ring having 5 or 6 carbon, and the other part is a purine. Is this clear? So this is important for all the students who are giving NEET. Okay, all the non-NEET students, they don't need to remember this structure. All right, so we will go back to our original topic. So we completed with the synthetic type of cytokinin. We completed the first cytokinin which was extracted from maize, called as zeatin. Okay, there are many examples of plants which give cytokinins, or from which cytokinins can be obtained. For example, banana flowers, okay, apple, then coconut milk, then tomato, then maize. So there are many different plants from which you can get naturally occurring cytokinins. Is that clear? So with that, we finish with the introduction part of cytokinins. The next part, as you all know, we have to study the physiological effects of cytokinin on plants and their applications. So let us start with the next part. Okay, and okay, so let me write down the heading: physiological effects and applications. Very important part. So you have to remember the physiological effects and applications of all the hormones. Okay, because normally in the 12th standard exams the questions are asked from this part, especially the application part. Okay, so I'm going to again write down all the applications first, and then I will explain each application to you. Okay, so the first application that I'm going to write down is, it is responsible for, you already know this, it is responsible for cell division and also for cell elongation. Correct. The next application is higher cytokinin upon oxime ratio gives rise to shoot formation, and a lower cytokinin to oxime ratio gives rise to root formation. Is this clear? Okay, then next is going to be cytokinin and oxime control morphogenic differentiation. I will explain what morphogenic differentiation is. Right now I'm just writing down the points. The next point is, they promote so cytokinins promote growth of lateral buds and stop apical dominance. So we have already seen in the previous lecture what is the meaning of apical dominance. Correct. Then let us go down further. Again, since they are promoters of growth, they will delay senescence or aging, and also delay abscission process. So this point is common in all the growth promoters of delaying senescence and abscission process. Next is they are responsible for formation of interfascicular cambium. I will tell you what interfascicular cambium is, don't worry, I will explain that point. Okay, next part, as in all the growth promoters, is they help in breaking seed dormancy and also promote germination of seeds. So see, some of the points are very common in all the three hormones, so please make note of those. Okay, they are common in auxins, gibberellins and cytokinins. And the last is they induce RNA synthesis. Is this clear? Okay, so I have written down all the applications over here. Okay, now let us take a look at all the applications. Okay, so the first application is they help in cell division and cell elongation. I already explained that to you. That is the main function of cytokinins. Okay, that is why they are also called as kinins or kinetins or cytokinins. Second is the amount of cytokinin which you add to the plant, that also decides which part of the plant will grow. If you add more, so normally cytokinins are added with auxin. Okay, they are both working together, auxins and cytokinins. So if you add more cytokinin, then you have to add less auxin. So more cytokinin if you add to the plant, then it will cause development of the shoot or the stem, and if you add less cytokinin, it will cause development of the root. So that is why I have written down higher cytokinin to auxin ratio gives rise to shoot formation, and lesser cytokinin to auxin ratio gives rise to root formation. The same thing we had studied in auxins, if you remember. Okay, so that point is there for cytokinins as well. Okay, next is cytokinin and auxin control morphogenic differentiation. What is the meaning of morphogenic differentiation? See, morphogenic differentiation means that when the plant is in the embryo stage, all the cells are similar, and later on as the plant grows, each cell will grow into a separate type of cell. So that is called as differentiation. For example, some of the cells will grow into a root, some of the cells will go into a stem. Okay, some of them will grow into leaves. So that is called as differentiation. And morphogenic is how the cells are arranged to make the organism grow. The shape of the plant is because of the arrangement of cells. So that arrangement of cells is called as morphogenic. So basically, as the embryo of the plant grows into an adult, the cell arrangement and the tissue which each cell forms, that is called as morphogenic differentiation. Is this clear? Okay, next point is cytokinins promote growth of lateral buds and stop apical dominance. Very important. I have already told you what apical dominance is. So apical dominance is when the apex bud, the bud which is at the top, it is keeping on growing and the plant grows very tall. So when that apical bud grows, it stops the growth of the lateral buds. Okay, I have already shown you that in the previous diagrams. Again, I will draw if you want. So I am drawing a stem over here, and this is the bud which is present. This is called apical bud. If it continues to grow, then the buds which are present over here, which are called as axillary bud or lateral buds, they will not grow. So when you add cytokinins to the plant, this apical bud which is present, it will stop growing. So when apical bud stops growing, the axillary or the lateral buds can grow into branches or they will grow into leaves. So basically the apical dominance has been stopped. Apical dominance means the apical bud will grow and it will suppress the growth of the lateral buds. So the lateral buds can easily grow when you add cytokinins to the plant. Is this clear? So that is called as they promote growth of lateral buds or axillary buds and they stop apical dominance. So I hope that point is clear. Next point that we are going to study is going to be they delay senescence and dominant. So they delay senescence and abscission process. I have already told you senescence is the aging process. See, all the growth promoters, they will delay aging and they will delay senescence. Very simple. Gibberellins do it, auxins do it, also cytokinins will do it. Because they are growth promoters. Growth promoters will not stop growth. Senescence is a process where the growth slows down or growth stops. It is aging. Abscission layer is the layer which has become weak because of aging, and then it will fall off from the plant. So both senescence and abscission process will be delayed by all the three hormones, including cytokinins. So cytokinins, I'm sorry. So very important, it delays senescence and abscission process. Next is formation of interfascicular cambium. Now this is a very important part. See, cambium is basically present in the vascular bundle. What is vascular bundle? Vascular bundle consists of an outer layer of phloem, inner layer of xylem, and in between there is cambium. Now cambium is of two types. There is something called as fascicular cambium, there is something called as interfascicular cambium. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a small diagram over here in this page and explain what is interfascicular cambium. So I'm going to draw vascular bundle. Okay, pay attention please. Okay, now I'm going to draw cambium which is passing through the vascular bundle. This ring which I'm going to draw, that is going to be cambium. Okay, so you can see this cambium is passing through all the vascular bundles. This ring is called cambium. Now I am going to show phloem in orange color. So the region which I am shading right now, the outer parts, these are all areas of phloem. Okay, all these three areas which I have shaded, they are phloem. So I will write it down over here, phloem. Similarly, the areas which are present inside, they are going to be xylem. So I am going to shade them in green. Okay, so this is basically the cut section of a stem. When you cut the stem, okay, so this is xylem. So now in this diagram, and I will also label cambium which is yellow in color. So now in this diagram you can see phloem is present outside, then there is cambium, then there is xylem. Now what is fascicular, what is interfascicular? Very simple. The cambium which is present between the phloem and the xylem. Okay, this entire part which I have drawn, this entire circle, this circle which is having phloem, cambium and xylem, it is called as vascular bundle. Okay, this part over here, can I change the color? Yes, this entire part is called as a vascular bundle or VB. Now the cambium which is present inside the vascular bundle, this yellow area, this is called as fascicular cambium. So if you want, I will label over here, this cambium is called as fascicular cambium. Fascicular cambium is the cambium which is present inside the vascular bundle. Whereas if you see this cambium is connecting two vascular bundles together. It is not present inside the vascular bundle. So this cambium is called as interfascicular cambium. Are you getting the point? So the cambium which is present inside the vascular bundle between the phloem and xylem, that is called fascicular cambium. Interfascicular cambium is the cambium which connects two vascular bundles. So interfascicular cambium, this point, it formation of interfascicular cambium takes place. So when you add cytokinins, this cambium which connects the vascular bundles, that formation takes place. Is this clear? So I hope you have understood the difference between fascicular cambium and interfascicular cambium. Cambium is responsible for secondary growth. Okay, we have already studied that, and secondary growth means increasing the thickness or breadth of the stem, leaf, root, all those parts. Is this clear? Okay, so I hope interfascicular cambium is clear. Next is, again, since it is a growth promoter, it will break seed dormancy, it will break the resting stage of the seed, and it will promote germination. So I am underlining this: prevent breaking seed dormancy and promoting seed germination. So this point is again a very common point along with auxins and gibberellins. All growth promoters have 4 or 5 points which are same, And if you can remember those points, it will be very easy for you to write down applications of these three growth promoters. And the last point, which is slightly different, is that cytokinins, when they are added to the plant, they induce RNA synthesis. So RNA growth or RNA production is accelerated when you add cytokinins. So very important point and a slightly different point. So with that, guys, we have finished with our today's part of cytokinins. Okay, so we have let us just revise what all we have done today. Okay, so we started with what is the function. The function is cell division or cell elongation. That is the function of cytokinins, right? Then who was the person who coined the word cytokinin? Latham. Please remember, Latham was the person who coined the term cytokinin. He was not the first person to discover about cytokinins. The first people to discover about substances called cytokinins, they were Scooge and Miller, 1954, and they called these substances as kinins or kinetins. How did they discover? So they were performing this tissue culture experiment on Nicotiana tabacum, and they realized that when they added two substances, coconut milk and DNA from herring sperm, they realized that the callus begins to divide faster. The division, the cell division accelerates, and they realize that there are certain substances present in both these things which are causing the cells to divide faster. Okay, and they call these substances as kinins or kinetins, correct? And later on, Latham gave the word cytokinin. Coming to the chemical structure, I have already showed you the structure. The chemical structure is called as 6-furfuryl aminopurine. Okay, so there is a single 5-carbon or a 6-carbon cyclic compound connected by a aliphatic chain which is having amino group, and the other end of the aliphatic chain is connected to the purine. Okay, that is the structure. It is called 6-furfuryl aminopurine. Synthetic cytokinins example is 6-benzyl adenine. I have already showed you what will be the change in the structure. Okay, so that is about the structure. The next part that we studied today was the first natural cytokinin which was extracted. It was extracted by again Latham and his co-workers, and it was called zeatin. Why? Because it was extracted from Z maize, or it was extracted from maize. Okay, so I think with that we completed the introduction part. Then we started with the physiological effects. What are the different physiological effects? Cell division, cell elongation, very easy. Okay, now the next point is very similar to auxin. If you add more cytokinin, shoot development, less cytokinin, root development. Okay, then cytokinin, auxin, they both control morphogenic differentiation. Morphogenesis is basically arrangement of cells in the organism. Differentiation is which cell will form which tissue. So growth from the embryo stage to the adult plant is controlled by cytokinins and also auxins. Please remember, cytokinins and auxins work together. Okay, normally they are not working independently, they will work together. Next point is promote growth of lateral buds and stop apical dominance. So the apical bud will stop growing, and because of that the lateral buds will start growing. That is what will happen when cytokinins are added. Next is the delay senescence abscission. This point is there for all of them, auxin, gibberellin, cytokinins, you know that. Then interfascicular cambium, I explained the cambium which is present between two vascular bundles is called interfascicular cambium. Breaking seed dormancy, promote seed germination. Again, it is a common point between auxin, gibberellins and cytokinins. One important point to remember is they promote RNA synthesis, cytokinins. So with that, friends, we have completed with cytokinins. We have completed with the promoter growth hormones which promote cell growth, which promote growth of the plant. Okay, now our next lecture, in our next lecture we'll be starting with inhibitor hormones. So they are called as growth inhibitors, and they are ethylene and abscisic acid. Okay, so that ends our lecture. Guys, please subscribe to my channel. If you found this video helpful, do like, put in a comment and share it with your friends. Thanks a lot.